Wednesday's episode delivers a true jaw-dropper when Ivy Forrester stumbles onto a moment between Dylan and Will Spencer that instantly sets off bell alarms and changes everything. With Electra Forrester out of town on business, Ivy's unease about Dylan staying at Will's beach house continues to grow. Something about the situation doesn't sit right with her, and when she decides to stop by and check in, her worst fears appear to be confirmed. Ivy arrives just in time to witness a scene that looks far too intimate to ignore. Whether it's the lingering eye contact, the closeness between them, or the charged aftermath of Dylan's tumble into Will's lap, the optics are undeniable. From Ivy's vantage point, this isn't friendly bonding or innocent circumstance. It's emotional intimacy unfolding while Electra is away and completely unaware. The look on Ivy's face says it all. She doesn't have the full story, but she doesn't need it. What she sees convinces her that boundaries have already been crossed and that Dylan's presence in Will's home has become a serious threat to Electra's relationship. This single moment flips a switch for Ivy. Dylan is no longer a struggling guest in need of help. She's a wild card, and Ivy is done giving her the benefit of the doubt. Electra shines in San Francisco as trouble brews at home. While chaos quietly ignites in Los Angeles, Electra Forrester is thriving on her San Francisco business trip with Steffi Forrester Finnegan. The two meet with another wealthy, high-profile client, continuing the momentum built during their earlier pitch to socialite Dottie. Once again, Electra proves she belongs in the room, confident, polished, and fully in command of her creative vision. Steffi watches with clear pride as Electra holds her own, recognizing that this isn't just potential anymore, it's real talent. This trip marks a major turning point for Electra, solidifying her role not just as a Forrester by name, but as a serious force within the company. The irony is painful. As Electra's professional world expands, her personal life may be unraveling in her absence, without her even knowing it. Success in San Francisco, suspicion in Los Angeles, the contrast couldn't be sharper. Brooke pushes RJ toward Ridge and a fork in the road. Back home, Brooke Logan Forrester turns her attention to the future and to her son. With RJ back in Los Angeles, Brooke encourages him to consider working alongside Ridge at Forrester Creations. She urges him to let go of past hurts and see this as an opportunity to reconnect, grow, and help shape the family legacy. Brooke believes RJ's talent and fresh perspective could be invaluable, not just to the company, but to repairing the strained bond between father and son. RJ, however, is hesitant. Returning to Ridge's orbit means reopening emotional wounds that never fully healed. While he appreciates Brooke's encouragement, stepping back into that dynamic isn't something he can take lightly. Still, Brooke's message is clear. The door is open and the future is waiting, if RJ is willing to walk through it. One day, 3 storylines, and lasting consequences. Wednesday's episode quietly sets off a chain reaction with massive fallout ahead. Ivy's shock over Dylan and Will's closeness puts her on a direct collision course with Dylan. Electra's career continues to soar, while unseen danger brews back home. Brooke nudges RJ toward a decision that could reshape Forrester Creations. The bold and the beautiful spoilers make it clear what Ivy sees on January 28th won't stay contained. Once Electra returns and the truth comes out, relationships will be tested, loyalties questioned, and lines redrawn. One look, one moment, and nothing will be the same. Ivy orders Dylan out of Los Angeles as explosive beach house showdown changes everything. The Bold and the Beautiful spoilers reveal that Ivy Forrester is about to take matters into her own hands, and Dylan may soon find herself fighting just to remain in Los Angeles. What begins as a shocking misunderstanding at Will's beach house escalates into a blistering confrontation that could permanently alter Dylan's future. With Electra Forrester out of town and completely unaware of the chaos unfolding back home, Ivy steps into full protector mode, and she shows no mercy. Ivy stays behind and walks straight into disaster. Ivy's decision to back out of the San Francisco trip initially seems minor, but that choice places her in Los Angeles at exactly the wrong moment. After Will and Dylan finish babysitting Hayes Finnegan, the evening takes a turn neither of them expects. Still restless and buzzing with nervous energy, Dylan gravitates towards something familiar: dance. Slipping into ballet slippers, she begins stretching and practicing a short routine in the living room. She explains it casually, brushing it off as muscle memory and stress relief. Will watches without concern, treating it as harmless. Then, everything goes wrong. Dylan loses her footing and stumbles, landing squarely in Will's lap. From inside the room, it's awkward and embarrassing. From outside the house, it looks incriminating, and Ivy sees it all. Ivy explodes. "You've gone too far." Looking through the beach house window, Ivy witnesses the fall completely out of context and instantly reaches a devastating conclusion. To Ivy, this isn't an accident. It's calculated, it's disrespectful, and it's happening while Electra is away and vulnerable. B&B spoilers say Ivy storms inside, unleashing a furious confrontation that catches both Dylan and Will off guard. She accuses Dylan of deliberately inserting herself into Will's life, exploiting proximity, emotion, and Electra's absence to blur boundaries. In Ivy's eyes, Dylan isn't confused or struggling, she's opportunistic. Ivy refuses to let Electra be blindsided or humiliated, especially after everything she's already endured. Electra and Will have fought too hard for their relationship, and Ivy is determined not to let Dylan become the wedge that destroys it. Dylan tries to defend herself, but Ivy is done listening. Dylan is shaken and desperate to explain. She insists it was an accident. She reminds Ivy she promised Electra she'd keep her distance, and claims she's done her best to honor that promise. None of it matters. From Ivy's perspective, intent is irrelevant. The optics are unforgivable. Dylan is living too close, spending too much time with Will, and placing herself in situations that never should have happened. And that's when Ivy drops the bombshell. Ivy orders Dylan to leave immediately. According to Bold and the Beautiful spoilers, Ivy doesn't just tell Dylan to move out of the guest space above Will's garage. She orders Dylan to leave Los Angeles entirely and as soon as possible. Ivy wants Dylan gone before Electra even returns. In Ivy's mind, this is the only way to prevent betrayal, heartbreak, and another emotional blindside. Dylan's presence is a ticking bomb, and Ivy refuses to wait for it to explode. The confrontation takes a stunning turn as Ivy demands Dylan pack her things and remove herself from the equation altogether. Dylan faces an impossible reality. The ultimatum hits Dylan like a punch to the gut. She's only recently escaped living in her car. She's unemployed, vulnerable, and barely holding on to stability. The room above Will's garage has been her first safe place in months, her first chance to rebuild. Ivy is unmoved. She coldly insists Dylan should have considered the consequences before crossing the line with Will, even accidentally. In Ivy's view, Dylan created the problem and now has to live with the fallout. The irony is brutal. Ivy claims to be protecting Dylan from danger while pushing her right back into it. For a moment, Dylan truly considers leaving. Shame, fear, and desperation collide as she realizes just how precarious her situation really is. Will pushes back, and the conflict explodes further. But Ivy's decree doesn't exist in a vacuum. B&B spoilers tease that once Will learns what Ivy has demanded, he won't accept it quietly. He sees the entire situation as a misunderstanding blown wildly out of proportion. From Will's perspective, Dylan needed help. She helped with Hayes. Nothing inappropriate happened. If Will intervenes, he may insist Dylan stay, challenging Ivy's authority and creating a new fracture line that Elektra will walk straight into upon her return. One misunderstanding could ignite multiple confrontations. Dylan isn't leaving, no matter what Ivy wants. Despite Ivy's explosive ultimatum, one thing is certain. Dylan's story in Los Angeles is far from over. With Sydney Bullock officially on contract, The Bold and the Beautiful spoilers confirm